So the inside of your car doesn't smell very good. You might even say it's kind of stinky, but don't worry, that doesn't make you a bad person, and in most cases, it's not even your fault. As a professional detailer for the last 20 years, I've come across all sorts of different smells in vehicles. And in today's video, I'm gonna highlight some of the most common reasons that you have odor in your vehicle, and then the 5 top ways to get rid of those odors for good. Now, probably the most common reason for odors in your vehicle is just that we're in them all the time, right? We eat in them, we drink in them, we sweat in them. Well, most of us are constantly on the go, and yeah, we eat and drink in our car, like I said. Things get dropped, things kind of sit in the bottom of the seats, and those can cause odors over time. Now you may be thinking, hey, that's great, Josh, but I never eat and I never drink in my car. I have tons of clients like that. They won't take anything into their vehicle, and yet their car still gets odors. One of the most common reasons for that is right now, as I'm filming this, it is summertime. It is hot outside, and we constantly drive around with the windows up, AC blasting to cool ourselves down, right? Now, something to keep in mind is that when you run the air conditioning, that creates condensation within your ventilation system. So when you're driving down the road and the vehicle is nice and cool, and then you get somewhere, you turn the vehicle off, the car sits outside, the AC was on, so you have condensation buildup, and then the heat is just constantly heating everything up, you have the chance to create that kind of mildewy smell, right? You can get some, I don't want to say mold growth, but sort of mildewy growth that you don't want to be constantly bringing in, and you don't want to be smelling because it's not very pleasant. Now we're going to get into some more obvious reasons for odor. Cigarette smoke. A lot of people smoke in their cars. Pets, right? Pets can create a bit of a stinky situation in a vehicle. And last but not least, guys, body odor. We all have it. Some people have it more than others, and that can also cause odors in the vehicle. Now, that would be a constant maintenance thing. Whole different issue, guys. That's not what we're going to be talking about here. But for the stuff that we can treat and maintain and keep smelling good, let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, time to talk about remedies. We're gonna start off again from the most basic thing all the way up to the more advanced things that you can easily do, but get the best results. So in situation number 1, where we have odors because of food that was dropped and things like that, a basic vacuum to remove all of that odor-causing material will help out an absolute ton. Now I know that's a very obvious statement, but I think it goes kind of overlooked a lot of the time. A lot of people will just do a basic vacuum on areas that they see, but actually move your seat all the way forward, vacuum all the way under it, vacuum it all the way back, do the same thing. If you can, get some compressed air and blow out the tracks. This will release a lot of stuff that you did not know was there so that you can vacuum it up and get those odor-causing things out of the vehicle. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about that musty, mildewy odor from condensation from your air conditioning. Because if you're anything like me, I don't want the smell, but I'm also not sacrificing my AC on a hot day. So a very simple trick that you can do to help reduce this is basically this. As you're driving down the road, blasting the AC, when you're getting close to your location of where you're going, or just as you get there if you don't want to deal with it, flip it over, go to heat, allow it to help to dry out that condensation before you just leave it parked and then it starts baking it out. If you can get that to evaporate before, that's gonna help out tremendously. So 2 things that are very obvious, right? Number 1, keep your vehicle clean. Try not to drop any food or anything like that in there. Obviously that's gonna create odors. Number 2, condensation. Just turn on that heater, let that blow out so you don't get the issue, or at least it's drastically reduced. Now let's go ahead and get into some more advanced things that are still quite easy and make a huge difference. Actually, the most impact. Other than prevention, this is the best way to deal with the issue if you have it. Now, number 1 is going to be changing your in-air cabin filter. Usually this is located underneath. You can open up your glove box, pop that down, and it's back there. I've seen it so many times. For example, this truck behind me only has 25,000 miles on it. I pulled out the air cabin filter and it was absolutely destroyed. It's one of those things that we completely overlook. A lot of times you go into the dealership for an oil change and they say, hey, we recommend changing out your air cabin filter. And you're like, nah, don't worry about it. Good and bad to that, right? I do think that there's tons of value. A lot of times it does need to be done. Like, absolutely, I'll show you some video, again, of how dirty mine was. On the other side of that though, in-air cabin filters are very cheap. You can save at least 50% by doing it yourself, and it is extremely easy to do. Now, this truck was super simple. You just undo one thing, drop the thing out, open up the thing, and put in a new one. Very simple. Different cars are different, so just do a quick YouTube or Google search on your specific vehicle of where it is and how to change it. Now, step 4 is going to be actually detailing out the interior of the vehicle. Very, very simply, odor-causing molecules and things like that can attach themselves to the plastics, to the carpets, especially your headliner. Steering wheel is a big one. Don't forget to get your steering wheel. Now, you can use just regular chemicals and get that done, no problem. But I highly recommend BioBomb Minis. These are incredibly easy to use. You open it up. They come in these little tablets. You just dissolve it in 16 to 32 ounces of water. Let that dissolve and then use that as your cleaner. I'm just gonna read to you real quickly here. BioBomb mini tablets, when dissolved in water, create a powerful, safe for surfaces solution that can be used to clean, sanitize, and deodorize in just one step. Solution is easy to prepare and even easier to use. When sprayed onto a surface, BioBomb mini tablets quickly break down biofilm and bioburden, leaving treated areas clean and odor-free. So what I'm gonna do, just to show you guys the process, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, drop it into 32 ounces of water, spray it into my microfiber, and wipe everything down. Now, one pro tip here is you can actually also use these with your steam cleaner. So you can actually just, same thing, mix up 32 ounces of water, drop this in, let it dissolve, add that to your steam cleaner solution tank, let it pressurize, and get after it. The benefit of that, which is a huge benefit, is it's going to be able to penetrate deeper, right? As opposed to just going over with a microfiber. Using the steam cleaner will help to penetrate into the crevices, obviously into the carpets, headliner, all that kind of good stuff, so you get an even more effective clean. All right, guys, so we've got the BioBombs Mini all dissolved into the bottle. So you could spray onto the surface. Many people do that. I just was always trained and always taught to not do that because you can get overspray on the window and all that kind of stuff with any detailing chemical. I always apply outside as much as I possibly can. Try and control the overspray and keep the chemical where I want it. Now the BioBombs Mini has a super clean smell, almost a little bit of a chlorine scent, very light chlorine. I don't want to say that it smells like chlorine, but I think that is kind of one of the active ingredients. I'll find out for you guys. But basically, we'll take this, again, just go ahead and start cleaning all your surfaces, right? Go ahead and wipe it on, get everything good. This product is safe for all surfaces. Now with any cleaner, whether it be an all-purpose cleaner, a degreaser, whatever I'm doing, when I'm cleaning surfaces on the inside of the vehicle, I typically like to do a quick go over just with a damp towel to pick up any leftover residue. I do the same with these as well. But make sure just to kind of cover as much of the areas as you can. Another thing is, guys, seat belts. A lot of people forget about seat belts because when they're treating the inside of their vehicle, the seatbelt is now tucked away behind the panel, right? It's a retractable system. If you were to do that and you're trying to clean out the odors inside, you got to remember when you're driving around, it's constantly across you. So that may have absorbed some odor as well. So make sure also to wipe those down. Now on top of that, guys, like I mentioned, I spray outside of the vehicle, except in this case where I want to treat the carpets. This, I'm going to spray directly onto the carpets, saturate them not too heavily, and then I'm going to let them dry out before anything else. So here we go. Just simply spray in. You want to saturate enough so that it actually kind of penetrates into the fibers. But again, work cautiously. You don't have to oversaturate it. You don't want to cause any new mildew smells because you left it too wet. This is also great for also applying it to, the seat belts. You can spray it directly onto those, and then your headliner. Headliner is hard. You are going to get it kind of raining down on you. Just spray. A little bit of it's going to mist down, so you can do it multiple ways. Again, steamer is probably the best way, but if you want, you can lightly do it and then wipe out the interior just to kind of save yourself from going over the same spot. All right, guys, now if you've done all of that and you still have odors, it's something in the air, right? You got to treat the whole air system to really get that out, right? So in the past, I actually, again, detailer for 20 years, I used to do a lot of dealership work utilizing ozone machines to remove odors in vehicles. Now, ozone machines, I'm in California. They're not allowed here anymore, at least for the high output ones that actually can be effective in odor removal. So that is one issue. Now the other issue is that if you leave them in too long, they can potentially start to break down, like the cones of your speakers and things like that. That's over extended periods of time. Hours upon hours. Usually when I do it, I have a really high output machine. I like to do a shock treatment for an hour or so. Open it up, let it vent out. The problem, again, with ozone, though, is you can also get kind of a burnt ozone scent, which is really not nice, and then trying to get that removed is a whole other thing in itself. So since then, BioBombs so we talked about their BioBombs Minis. This is their vehicle deodorization kit. So basically what this is I guess you can call it a smoker, but it creates a gas. So basically all you do, I'm not gonna run it in this vehicle because it doesn't need it. I did have odors in this vehicle. I changed out the air filter. I did the whole wipe down. It's smelling absolutely perfect now. So all good to go there. I don't want to waste one of these. But basically what you do is they actually recommend removing the cabin filter. Why? Because you don't want to reintroduce any other odors. So even though it may kill most of it, if you turn that ventilation back on, it's coming back through that in-air cabin filter. It could blow right back out. So you want to remove that and replace as necessary. But with this, you just go ahead and remove the pouch. You would fill it up to the fill line, for the bio bomb, which is right here. They actually label on the instructions, so right here. Fill line, so you fill it up with water, you place it into a cup holder. You open up the packet, you drop it in there, you close up the vehicle, and you let it sit. Now they actually have a guide here as well. For mild odors, 3 hours. For strong odors, 6 hours. For extreme odors, 12 hours. Now, if you want to speed up that process, they also do offer this. Now, if you're a professional and you're doing these a lot, I highly, highly recommend this. If it's something you're doing at home, you have the time, you can just leave it in overnight and you're okay, right? You're not in a rush. Time isn't money in your situation. You just want the best result. Leave it in there and you're good to go. Again, on a business level though, we want to use something like this. And this basically is a little pump. You put it into the solution, it aerates it faster, and it speeds up the process. Very, very cool stuff. I will link all this stuff down in the description for you guys so you can see it as well. But let me go ahead and just read this to you because these things work absolutely phenomenally well. Man, equally if not better to the ozone. The ozone machines that I was using were very, very expensive. And then you do risk the potential of the burned ozone scent. And honestly, more often than not, this doesn't do it. At least leaves a nice, fresh, clean scent. So really quickly here, the vehicle deodorization kits are designed to treat the air inside vehicles, releasing a powerful deodorizing gas that reaches even the most inaccessible areas. Again, it's a gas. It's gonna really access all these areas that you may have missed just with the wipe down, right? The gas, which contains a chlorine dioxide. That's what I was thinking with the tablets. I think it's the same type of active ingredient in there. That's why it smells like a slight tint of chlorine. Utilizes its exceptional oxidizing properties to effectively neutralize a wide range of odors, including smoke, pet odors, and other stubborn smells. As the gas disperses, it thoroughly permeates the vehicle's interior, targeting and breaking down odor-causing compounds, leaving behind only freshness. Absolutely phenomenal. They do state on here as well for best results, detail the vehicle before doing it, right? You want to remove all those things like we talked about, steps 1 through 4. Remove any odor causing things. Make sure your ventilation system is dried out. If you do have a steamer, guys, this is a little bonus, right? Blow it through your ventilation system. You put one in and you'll see smoke come out or the steam come out of all the areas, especially if you have the BioBombs Mini in that. Phenomenal. That's great. That's a great way to do it. So you just use it. It says place the vehicle out of direct sunlight. Be sure all windows and sunroofs are fully closed so you lock in the fogger, right? You want to make sure that it permeates and creates that gas in there and locks it in so it can do its job. Fasten seatbelts and flip sun visors halfway down. Why? Again, you want to expose every surface. You don't want the area that goes across your chest that may have odors built into it to retract and be into the side panel of the car, right? You want that exposed. So you click it so that part's exposed. Same for the visors. Do them halfway so that they're not blocking from getting in there and getting the fogger into that area. You want to make everything as accessible as possible just so the job gets done easy. BioBombs, guys. BioBombs. Huge, huge, huge. I would say probably the leader, the absolute leader in odor removal for your vehicles. They make home kits and all that kind of stuff too, but that's not where I'm using them. I'm using it in cars constantly. They also have a ton of really good scent bars, you know, little air fresheners that you can just throw under your seat. Great smells. They have a ton of different ones. So my favorites, Juicy Melon. They have kind of funny names. Juicy Melon, Fresh AF. They actually have a spray of. I like that one a lot as well. But again, they do seasonal scents and all that kind of stuff. So really cool brand. The guys behind the brand are incredible. I want you guys all to know, I do know the guys from BioBombs. They are awesome, and they're still actively working in the dealership stuff, going and removing odors daily on vehicles on the lot. So I initially met them at SEMA last year, which is a giant car show. They gave me a couple samples, and I'm thoroughly, thoroughly impressed. So make sure to go check them out as well. Again, everything will be down linked in the description. For me, this is always kind of the last step. Regardless, I'm doing the BioBombs Minis because even when I go to this, if I do need to go to this, the BioBombs Minis should be done as well beforehand. So I work my way through the process, steps 1 through 4, and with number 5, and you'll be good to go. If your car still stinks after all of this, maybe time to trade that thing in. The thing stinks. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and we will see you on the next one.